past 24 hours, again, we had a slightly cold night last night, back to those 40s, a little bit above average, though. And this afternoon, we actually continue those above average temperatures, even though we saw a cooler afternoon than what we saw for yesterday, and even going to continue for the rest of tonight as well. Looking back at that almanac for our Saturday, again, started the morning with those 40s, a little bit above average, average being 35 degrees, and throughout the afternoon, all the way up to those 60s for that afternoon high, 2 degrees above average. While we did see a huge cool down from what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, we saw those 80s for those afternoon highs, and we're expected to continue in those 60s for these next several afternoons. Currently in those 50s, we've cooled down since what we saw this afternoon, 57 degrees in San Angelo. Dew point is at 27 degrees, and that humidity rate is sitting at 32%, with those winds still pretty hefty and right now at 18 miles per hour, and we'll see those continue for the rest of tonight as well. Even looking back at what we saw for these past 24 hours for those peak wind gusts, a lot of us actually saw gusts close to 50 miles an hour. Here in San Angelo seems to be the biggest gust across the Concho Valley, 47 miles an hour. And a couple of us saw some lighter gusts in 29 miles per hour in Coleman. But again, we're going to continue to see those pretty hefty gusts even going into the rest of tonight and looking ahead to tomorrow as well. But those winds have calmed down from what we saw earlier this afternoon. We will still continue to see those gusty conditions, though, throughout the rest of tonight. Those current temperatures across the entire Concho Valley, all of us seem to be in the 50s, and we'll stay in those 50s for the majority of the night. We do see some lower 50s. Those places will actually dip into the 40s a little bit earlier than the rest of us. 51 degrees in Brady, 50 degrees in Mason, but the rest of us closer to those higher 50s. And it'll take us a while to cool down to those 40s, which is what we'll be seeing for those overnight lows tonight. Those current temperatures across the entire state, actually seeing a couple of 40s across the state already. 43 degrees in Amarillo, and a lot of 50s across the state. 45 degrees in Waco, 60 degrees in Houston, 63 degrees in Laredo. And we'll all continue to cool down through these next 12 hours as we just continue to get cooler in those 50s, again, for the majority of the night, but then down to those 40s for those early morning hours as we start our Sunday for those overnight lows, and then back to those 50s and 60s for tomorrow afternoon. Now, forecast for tonight, 47 degrees and windy with those clear skies. Winds out of the west-southwest at 20 to 25 miles per hour with gusts up to 45 miles an hour. That'll continue through tonight. And looking ahead to tomorrow, still seeing those sunny conditions, still seeing those windy conditions as well, with those winds out of the northwest at 20 to 25 miles per hour with gusts close to 40 miles an hour and temperatures in those 60s. That 7-day forecast, we'll actually be seeing those 60s for the majority of these next 7 days.